Devon Monroe from IsFabulous.com. While it may still be cold outside, spring is officially here. And with spring comes the final semester of the school year and commencement. The Art Institutes, an art and design college with campuses all over the United States, presents its top fashion design graduates in Mercedes Benz Fashion Week. Pulling the best of the designers from their campuses around the nation, the Art Institutes puts on an impressive show that gives us a glimpse into what young, up-and-coming designers are inspired by and where the future of fashion is going. A round of applause is definitely in order for this group of very different and very talented designers from the Art Institutes. Mercedes Benz Fashion Week, and we are at the Art Institute's show. Can you tell me your name?
Lauren Barasik.
And your collection, what was the inspiration for it?
Well, because this was my first collection, I wanted to make sure that it really embodied everything I wanted my aesthetic to be. So it portrays what I believe to be classic American sportswear and really embodying the American spirit.
And how did you translate that in with the fabrics and the colors?
Primarily, I used buffalo plaid to represent that ideal. So, but it also embodies the contradictory that's in that. So there are leopard spots and then velvet and poplin and moire, just to kind of give the diversity and to show all the different traits.
I'm Luis Aponte. I'm from AI Miami.
From Miami?
Yes.
Very different from here, yes.
Not this cold at all.
Can you tell me what the inspiration for your collection was?
The inspiration of my collection was the butterflies, but a close-up into their bodies and how they have these hair-like textures. And I contrasted that with the slickness and the geometric designs that they display in their wings. So based on that, I created my own textiles. And I experimented with ribbons, with different pieces of tweeds, and I developed this technique which I put all the pieces and they look like very warm and they look just like the butterfly. And then the other one, it's more clean, it's lines. I did an embroidery with wool yarns on top of the wool, the wool crepe, so it looks very different and it's very popping.
And with that inspiration, how did that affect the colors that you put in the collection?
My color story was very simple. I kept it in white, yellow, and black, and then in some of the pieces you can see more black and less yellow, then more white, and then less yellow, more white. You know, I play with the amount of color I put them, but I kept it very simple.
Anna Charest, and I'm from the Philadelphia Art Institute.
And can you tell me a little bit about your collection?
My collection is Honor. It was inspired by the Civil War era and the women involved, and really that drove me to analyze the women in my life, and that further inspired me to create this collection.
And how did you translate that into the garments themselves?
Really, my focus was to take women's inner beauty and their strength and make it transcend into physical garments. And that was done with pleating techniques and piping stitching and bias strips and making these feminine details on sort of masculine clothes to really exaggerate the strength that the women in my life have.
And any important fabrics and colors?
Everything was made entirely out of wool because I have a sheep farm and I wanted to represent them.
Very cool. And colors?
Yes, it's a very military inspired color story with nice navies and greens and really some rich colors to highlight the Civil War era.
I'm Maria Yamamoto. I'm from San Francisco campus.
And how is it showing in New York for you?
It's overwhelming. I don't know. I'm exhausted, but I'm really excited.
So what can you tell me about your collection?
My collection is women's wear, and then I was inspired by time travelers. I was always thinking like how a woman would dress up like, how time traveler woman dress up like, and then so I took those silhouettes from 1950s and 40s, those like Dior and Balenciaga silhouettes, and then hopefully I managed to get those looks and then transfer it to
Something a little bit more
modern time.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sounds interesting. Are there any important fabrics or colors in the collection?
I use leather and fur because one of my inspiration, the time traveler is my main inspiration, but one of my inspiration is steampunk, but not literal. So I use like steampunk for color and the material, because when I think of steampunk, it's leather and fur and brown and more settled color. So these are going to be my key aspects in my collection.
Christopher Maracha, and I'm from the Art Institute of California, San Francisco.
San Francisco.
Yeah.
And how are you liking New York?
It's great. It's so different from the West Coast. It's definitely a lot faster paced, but it's a nice change.
Can you tell me what your collection is about, the inspiration, etc.?
Well, my collection is a menswear collection, and the inspiration came from Patrick Nagel's illustrations, more specifically his menswear illustrations. So I thought, what would these men from the 80s think they'd be wearing in 2014? So I went with a lot of bright color blocking, mesh, and just contrasting fabrics.
And the silhouettes are kind of 80s updated?
Oh no, I kept all the silhouettes familiar with what a lot of guys already wear, but I wanted to take little details like color blocking and like see-through mesh here and there, just to keep it exciting, to make guys more excited to wear something different than what they usually wear.
I'm from the AI campus in New York City, and my name is Simone Young.
And what can you tell us about your collection? What was the inspiration?
Well, the title of my collection is Metamorphosis, and the inspiration was the metamorphosis of a chrysalis into a butterfly, but it also reflects my life because my whole journey here has been a metamorphosis in itself, you know, on top of the fact that I'm always changing myself, my hair, my clothes, but through this process, it has helped me to find myself. So I have a lot of emotions and life experience also going into the title of this, you know, even though in the pictures it represents a butterfly, but in the collection you'll also see the story of the caterpillar and then the chrysalis and then the end when the butterfly comes out. So I hope you guys enjoy it.
Can you tell me a little bit about the fabrics and the colors in this collection? collection?
Well, at first I thought of using a lot of colors, but then recently I got obsessed with Issey Miyake and all his stuff, and I just thought that his fabrication choices and experimentation process was so fascinating that I wanted to apply that to my own collection. So I started experimenting with pleats. I even had some stuff custom pleated. So when you fold these fabrics, they create whimsical shapes and structure at the same time because of the pleats, depending on the size of the pleats and the shape of the pleats. So I wanted to use the beauty of the fabric and not overdo it at the same time, but showcasing how special these fabrics really are.
I'm Joshua Ponte, and I'm with New York Art Institute.
And what is your collection all about?
Well, my collection is called the Torus, and it's a mathematical equation that when you put it into a computer, it creates a 3D model of a circle. And this pattern is found everywhere throughout the universe, from the smallest items in the Planck scale to the most massive structures like nebulas and galaxies.
And how did you translate that into the fabrics and colors of the collection?
Well, I'm using all very rounded and circular silhouettes, circular patterns to give a lot of volume, but a lot of comfort to the body, and also a sense of protection, almost like an atmosphere around the body. I'm also using very technologically enhanced fabrics. Some of them have, like this one, they have fiber optics weaved into them, and some of them have iron weaved into them just to give them a futuristic feel. And also there's going to be a lot of color. I want to bring a lot of color into winter, which is not normal to see here, mostly in New York.
Yeah.
So yeah,
It's all about black.
Yes. So it's going to be very colorful, very bright, very vibrant, and I hope you like it.
My name's Samuel Saccone. I'm from the Art Institute of Philadelphia.
Philadelphia. Yep. So how's it showing in New York?
Oh wow, it's a whole nother experience than showing in Philadelphia, I'll say that.
Can you tell me a little bit about your collection?
My collection's title is Chiaroscuro, so it's based on a play of light and dark. I use textures to refract the light, so it's also inspired by crystals. The crystals embody kind of the woman that I described. She's bittersweet. So, one side of the crystal is absolutely smooth, soft, describes her softer personality. The other side is rough, which describes her dangerous personality. So it's a mix of the two.
Any important colors and fabrics in this collection?
Yeah, the majority of the fabric is lambskin leather. I've used gabardines, super nubby knits, and all very comfortable stuff, but it's that mix again with masculinity and femininity. So.
You're actually a design team in this show. Can I get your names and what city you're from?
My name is Herman Madrigal and I'm from Portland, Oregon.
My name is Ryan Evans and I'm from Portland as well.
And the school is in Portland?
Yes, it's in Portland.
Okay, excellent. Can you tell me a little bit about your collection?
Pretty much the collection is a little bit on the simple side, but we still wanted to take elements of the all avant-garde world that we love and fuse that with something more wearable and approachable. And it's actually both men and women's. So we're definitely playing with the silhouette a little bit by layering it and adding some textures like lambskin and wool. So still keeping it approachable to our customer, but still inviting them to push their own personal style.
And other than the lamb and the wool and the lambskin, are there any other important fabrics, and what are the important colors?
Pretty much I know we're doing definitely dominantly black. We're doing some hints of gray, but there is like a plum color and we're still adding a little pop of color because we didn't want to make it too dominantly black. So still something to put a little bit more range into it.
Gustavo Alonso, and I am a graduate from Miami International University of Art and Design.
Oh, wow. That's a little bit different from everybody else here, correct?
Yes, it is.
So can you tell me what your collection is all about? What was the inspiration?
Well, the inspiration was to tell the story of a woman that no longer wants to be good. She has a passion for dark arts, and you can see the entire transformation from being light and airy to being a dark, seductive woman.
Sounds very interesting. How did you translate that into the fabrics of the collection?
Well, I contrasted very light and airy georgettes with a very heavy guipure, which I dyed in several shades of colors. And I wanted to create a balance between the soft and the hard fabrics. Also so you could see the transformation where even when she's at her darkest point, she still has the femininity and the flowiness of the very light georgette.
And what are the important colors in this collection?
Well, it starts very light with an ivory, then it moves into gold, then navy, and finally black.
I am Lorena Cabrera, and I'm a graduate from the Art Institute of Portland.
Portland?
Yes, Portland.
Can you tell me what is your collection about?
My collection is inspired on the mineral pyrite, also known as fool's gold. So I like the way it keeps sort of plate of each other and interact, and they create these shapes and spaces between each other that are really interesting. So you can see that in the fabrics and the way I play with the spaces between the fabric and the body. With pleats, it's very structured, very minimal, almost like architectural structures around the body, around the shoulders and the hips. So you're going to see a lot of volume here and there.
Okay, and obviously with the inspiration of fool's gold.
Yes.
Gold is important?
Not necessarily. I went more towards the shapes of fool's gold, but you are going to see some silver colors. There's also some black, and then fool's gold. I didn't want to take it so literal and be gold, so there's going to be like a camel color in there also. So.
Michael Doyle, and I'm from New York City.
From New York City. Ah, homeboy.
Yep.
So can you tell me, what is your collection about? What is the inspiration?
The inspiration of my collection is polyrhythmic musical patterns, and it's used a lot in heavy metal. I'm a big metal fan, and it's used in jazz also, actually. 3 and 4 different time signatures on top of each other to create one very unique sound that's a bit off. If you're not used to it, it sounds weird, you know, and that's kind of like what my clothes are. They're wearable, but they're all a little tweaked and a little bit making you shake your head. So I like to create things that are a bit avant-garde, but I want it to be transferable into the day.
And what were the important fabrics in this collection?
My fabrics are what I really love. I use knitwear for the first time. There's knitwear, leather, there's fur. I love leather, I love fur. It's dangerous. It's not well liked by everyone, you know. It's provocative. I like to provoke, you know. I think it's something young people should do. It's provoke, you know. So that's pretty much my fabrication.
And colors for this collection?
Black, little white, little glimpse of something that's white.
You really are a New Yorker.
I know, yeah. It's a very New York minimal color palette, but the designs are definitely more Japanese inspired.